Now from here, he's either going to keep his hips up a little bit and driving his chest weight into me, or what you might find is he's one of those guys that really focuses on shutting down your hips, and then he'll patiently work his grip in here with the arm to wherever he can, and then find his route to free his leg, right? So from here, if you're doing like a sprawling on my hip, like this type of thing. So yeah, you see that he's really got his hip smashed into my hip. Now almost always from here, he's going to have this leg away at that point, and he's going to now be using his hand to control, okay? And sometimes he'll have his head kind of coming up your midline like this. Sometimes he's going to have it facing, so dip the shoulder in, kind of face your head that way. Sometimes he'll be playing in here like this, right? But that's like a hip smashing type of pressure. Now we go back to the other one. So his chest is on me, but he's, no, go back, sorry, to the other pressure, so your knee's in, your chest is low, right? So now he's trying to climb up, but right now I feel way more chest and shoulder pressure than I do hip, okay? So these are little cues I want you guys to feel. What are the variables? His knee is in or his knee is out? If his knee is out, his hand has to be there. Anytime there's nothing there, I would do what?
Pull guard.
Pull guard, right? I return my guard. And we'll talk about the steps to do that. Sometimes you can do it just super quick, opportunistically, but sometimes we need to put a little extra check in there, a little extra protection. So anytime your knee is not policed, right, the same one that you're trapping his leg with, that down leg, anytime it's not policed, I always want to be threatening to pull guard, okay? If I can keep him framed off down low on me, much better, okay? But what you'll find from here is that if he's down low, and especially if he's got a lot of weight on my hip, there's no use for me to bridge here, even if I'm trying to look for an underhook, because what happens, get heavy with your hip, good. What happens from here is his pressure is smashing in down here. So there's really nowhere for my arm to go, okay? So again, I bridge, and where do I get my elbow in? Like I can't, because he's made a seal from his abdomen down through his hips, and it's really heavy on my hips, okay? So that's not what I want to do there. When Ryan is down low like that, let's just turn real quick. So do the sprawl again, okay? You see what happens when I bridge? Okay, nothing really for me to get an underhook. He's very low on my body with his pressure right now. Really smear your hips into me, good. But what you'll notice that I can do is from here, I can escape my hip. I can do a shrimp. So from here, like that, okay? Now once I make that frame, I can get some weight out. So when his hip is low smashing me, even though it may feel like you're very restricted, you will still be able to escape your hips. Once Ryan starts to come up high, and I feel like I'm just about to get my arm smashed, but at that point, that's where now I can bridge, and look what happens when I bring my elbow back down. My elbow leads, and now there I am looking for my underhook, okay? So that's the time to be looking for that underhook, when he starts to come higher than this line of your sternum and chest, okay? Once he starts to come up there, the next step, if I let him do it, is going to be chest to chest. Before that happens, but after you feel he's relinquished a little pressure down on your hip line, that's the time to do the bridge, okay? So smashing down here, escape your hip. Starting to come up high, right? But before you get yourself smashed and flattened out, that's where I'm doing bridge, looking for the underhook. When I go for the underhook, okay, always from here, leading with my elbow as I come down, letting my elbow poke through that little space, then my whole arm will fall. And we talked about how to make a great frame down there, okay? Anytime he is not policing my down knee, I'm always looking to pull guard. And then basically the one other thing I want you to keep in mind is what happens if he is starting to get arm position on me and he is policing my knee. So if we switch back one more time. So let's say he is starting to come up here. So get this arm in, he's kind of beating my arm and his knee is pinched in here. Now he'll have his foreleg rotated out for a little bit of base. But here is where I want to think, what do I have left? Right before this starts to crush me, right? And he's going to start to take that right hand and free, yeah, push my knee away, free his hip, right? and I got tremendous amount of pressure on my neck. So what's left from here? Okay, take a look at it real quick. See if you guys can tell me, where does Ryan not have base right now? Which one?
Your left hip.
Left, my left hip or his left hip?
His left.
His left, okay. And you mean right here?
Yeah. No.
Where can his leg go? Right at this moment, at least. So you're warm.
Where can it go or where can
Can't
it
it?
not
Cannot.
go? His left leg?
Yep. Where can it go right now?
Towards your
Straight
head.
back. I guess it could.
What do you think? So if
Flop
I
him
start
towards me.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say.
towards you,
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll make these
Okay.
really simple.
So from here, that away.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, the one thing I have going for me, because a lot of times people will do this, they'll cook you, and then when you go to just do a bridge, that's where they'll like just free their leg. You go like, oh, like that, and they just say, okay, thanks. Okay. But right at this moment, because he's so worried, even if he's got this foreleg out, because he's so worried about policing that leg, this is the time where ideally, okay, I would use this little pocket of space over here to shoot this through, because right now, because of the tilt, what he's getting in this gives me this, right? So I have a little bit more control. So from here, I'm going to shot put. You'll feel the connection to his body, and then from here, bridging into that open space, because the time it's going to take him to kick that leg out and rotate it out here where he would have some sort of structure, some sort of like outrigger to his canoe, it's already gone at that point. So from here, this is where I can take him over, okay? So, just to summarize, right now I'm not doing a specific technique. What I'm doing is I'm going to have you guys run through top and bottom, just getting the broad concepts of what am I doing in response to where my partner can control things. We switch for a second. Okay, actually no. So, if I'm down low here like this, my knees is away, so my arm has to be what's protecting that knee, because anytime I'm doing this, guess what? I'm pulling guard, right? We'll go into details later. But right now you see how I'm sprawling, my hip pressure is on his hip. So basically from my abdomen through my hip, and now this arm has my underhook down, wrapping over his hip, right? Right now, his hips are very smothered, and so if Ryan goes to do a bridge right now and get an underhook, like where's the underhook, right? I'm too low for it. I'm too situated down on below his rib cage right now, okay? However, if you do escape your hip, and he moves his hip away, now you'll see, yeah, he can either get an underhook or he can put his knee into my hip. We'll go into specifics about that, fine tune it, but right now I just want everybody to get the idea. Now, if I start to come up like this, okay, play this game, he's going to use his frame and try and be on his side as much as possible, keep me off, right? And then as I start to come up high, this is where he bridges. And now he's got an underhook. Now at this point, if he gets a good underhook, he's going to be underneath me, and it's going to be difficult for me to whizzer or to change my position before he's able to progress and start to threaten me with sweeps or taking my back. And then if I do start to get in here like this, and my knee comes in close, okay, ideally punch through that underhook, okay, do the shot put with your arm up, and that's the bridge, okay, to take me over.